All right, so we are going to get the Economic Development, Tourism and Cultural Initiatives Advisory Committee started. As you saw on your agenda, we do have to do the elections of the chair and vice chair since it's been a year since we have done that. So we're going to start with the chair. So if there's anyone on the committee who wants to nominate someone, we do need a mover and a seconder. So is there anyone that would like to nominate for chair?
I would like to nominate Christina.
Does anyone second that?
Second that.
Okay, are there any, well, do you accept the nomination for Christina?
Yes, I do
Okay.
accept the nomination.
Perfect. Andy, are there any other nominations? Andy?
Well, I was gonna nominate myself, but then I'll wait for deputy now.
Okay, perfect. So just Christina? Okay, so as Christina is chair already, because there are no other nominations, she is acclaimed. All right, so moving on to vice chair, are there any nominations? Andy,
I wish to nominate myself.
do we have any seconder? Do we have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Second.
Okay. All right, so any other nominations for vice chair?
I would like to nominate Victor.
Do you accept? Oh, wait, do you accept that nomination?
Do you need a second for that? Jim?
Yes, we do need a seconder for that.
I'll second.
So any other nominations for vice chair? None. So we do have to carry out a vote. So we will start with Andy. So all those in favor of Andy being vice chair? 1, 2, 3.
I'm sorry, can I ask which person is Andy again? I don't see all the names on the screen.
I'm
Okay,
waving.
sorry. Okay,
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
we'll redo that. All those in favor of Andy? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and all those in favor of Victor?
Victor.
Okay, so Andy will be vice chair.
Thank you.
Did everyone vote?
What's that?
Did everyone vote?
Yeah, so we had 4 for Andy and then 2 for 3. Yeah.
Do we have 8 votes?
I was gonna say, I didn't think that was.
I don't think this.
That's why I
Did you-
mentioned it.
No, like first time I attending, so I don't know like what's that.
Yeah, sure.
happening
Okay,
at this
so we might need to do that again. So we're just voting for vice chair right now. So chair, Christina is the chair, so we voted for that because there are no other nominations. So then there are 2 vice chair nominations, so we just have to vote of who will be vice chair for the next term. So we'll do that again. So we've got Andy and then Victor as nominated. So we'll start with Andy. If we can, all those in favor of Andy being vice chair. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then all those for Victor. Oh, God.
I knew that was gonna happen.
What happens in time?
Not sure. here.
Maybe can I suggest that we, 'cause I don't know Andy,
Yeah.
can we maybe introduce the two and then,
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or have them introduce themselves.
yeah, and then
say why they'd
maybe
like to
someone
be
will
vice
vote
chair.
Sure,
different.
if you want to do that, that's fine. It works
We
for
have to
me.
figure out stuff.
So, yeah, Andy, if you want to start.
I wasn't prepared to hype myself today. I just wanted to be low key. All right. Hi, my name is Andy Streisfeld. I'm a member of several committees and task forces here in the city of Brantford. I'm also a local businessman, member of the advisory council committee of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm a broadcaster with a show, a political awareness show on Rogers TV Brantford. And I'm an environmentalist and a podcaster and a podcasted specialist in the field of sustainable circular economy recycling. And I am passionate about what we do in this committee because I believe this city can grow to be great, and it needs not only business people, lay people, and other people with a passion, but it needs to have the vision that will force us to look at all the options and give that to whoever the powers that be to make this a great city. So I look forward to your vote, and that's me.
Victor.
Hi, everybody. I'm Victor Kalinsky. I was vice chair last year of this committee, and I also chair Grand Culture, which is the forthcoming Arts Culture Heritage Council that we've been forming. I guess for my day job, I'm an academic, so I do research. I'm a trained anthropologist and resident since 1997. I work on various arts, culture heritage projects locally, including things at Glenhurst Art Gallery, through the city, through the county. So I'm very involved in that realm, and also have some small business background doing consulting work with experience design. And I guess to echo Andy's words, because he had a nice pitch at the end there, I am also very passionate about Brantford and making sure that we grow this community, which is a lot of my volunteer work has been really focused on that, specifically around my work at Grand Culture. So.
Okay, so I guess we'll redo the vote again. I do remember that this happened before and they put the names in a hat and we had to pick one. So if there's a tie again, that's what we're going to have to do. So we'll start with Andy again. All those in favor of Andy being vice chair? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then Victor. All those in favor of Victor? So that was 5-3. So Andy is acclaimed as vice chair. Sorry,
Thank
everybody.
you. Appreciate it.
So I'm going to now pass it off to you, Christina. Thank you. And then we're going to go through the items.
Share steps here. Thank you, everyone. Prior to considering our items on the agenda, I'll go over some rules of procedure. This meeting is held in a hybrid format in accordance with the electronic participation policy for virtual meetings. The full corporate policy 050 regarding electronic virtual meetings is available online to review. All cameras for committee members shall remain on to ensure quorum. Members of the committee shall indicate they wish to speak by raising their hand. Members who are present in person will be given opportunity to speak first, followed by virtual participants. Please leave your hand raised until the chair has determined the result of the vote. All rules for delegations under the city's procedural bylaw apply. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest for any of the items listed on the agenda today? Okay. I see no hands. There are no presentations or delegations today. We'll now consider item 5.1. Can I please have a mover and seconder to place the item on the floor? Moved by Mandy and seconded by Carrie. Okay. Now the item is on the floor. Any discussion?
Just have a question if I could.
Sure.
Are we asking questions in a certain order? Or can we ask about both applicants at the same time?
I think we can ask questions about both. Yeah.
Both at the same time, because they're both covered in the one report. Are these projects being funded by other sources, or is this the sole source of funding for both of the applicants?
Victor.
Sorry, can I just, is this the Built and Cultural Heritage Grant we're discussing right now? Okay, I don't have an agenda in front of me and I couldn't hear what was happening, so I didn't know what was going on. I can speak to, do you want me to give an overview of, I mean, yeah, okay, I will read what I prepared and then I can kind of go into questions. So the Cultural and Built Heritage, so introductions, many of you know me, I'm Adrienne Briggs, I'm the Arts and Culture Coordinator for the City of Brantford, and I oversee this grant program. The Cultural and Built Heritage Funding Program was created and approved by Brantford City Council in September of 2016. Funded by the City of Brantford Casino Reserve Fund, the goal of the Cultural and Built Heritage Funding Program is to provide project grants to cultural institutions for facility and infrastructure improvements in order to ensure Brantford citizens have access to a range of high-quality arts, culture, and heritage assets. The purpose of this program is to financially support sustainable capital, facility, and infrastructure projects for cultural institutions, including new construction, equipment, renovations, repair, costs, collections, maintenance, expansion, and design or planning fees associated with planning for capital improvements. A Cultural and Built Heritage Funding Program Advisory Committee was established at the same time for this purpose of making allocation recommendations for grants to eligible non-for-profit organizations under the new Cultural and Built Heritage Funding Program. This grant has been suspended since early 2020 due to COVID, and this is the first year it's been reactivated post-COVID. Committee, the newly formed Cultural and Built Heritage Funding Grant Program Subcommittee, reviewed 2 applications on Tuesday, May 28th, 2024 at Brantford City Hall. The adjudication process took approximately 1 hour to complete, and the subcommittee voted to support the following applications at this meeting. That funds be awarded to the Canadian Military Heritage Museum in the amount up to $43,048 from the Cultural and Built Heritage Reserve for their 2024-2025 CMHM Air Quality and Preservation Improvement Project, and that funds be awarded to Woodland Cultural Center in the amount up to $41,837 from the Cultural and Built Heritage Reserve for the 2024-2025 WCC Museum Building Plumbing Repair. The following is a summary of the 2 projects. The Canadian Military Heritage Museum is housed in a 13,000 square foot post-World War II industrial building and lacks windows, proper airflow control, and environmental controls. As a result, the museum is increasingly challenged to maintain the climate controls as it relates to collections management, which in turn can increase or decrease the lifespan of a collection. CMHM has a large textile collection, which are incredibly vulnerable to fluctuations in the environment controls, example, RH levels and seasonal air temperatures fluctuating between 20 degrees Celsius and 28 degrees Celsius over extended period. This results in a higher risk to the collection in terms of degradation and damage. Also can increase the cost of conservation over time. Presently, airflow is limited to non-reservable industrial ceiling fans and the opening of the mast in the main and rear doors during fair weather months. With adjacent stone crushing business, salvage yard, and open-grounded brownfield lands, the museum air environment is often impacted by dust, and which is offensive and damaging in air particulates and which causes massive restrictions in needing to open those doors, as that dust can be detrimental to the collection. To improve air quality and humidity levels, the following capital projects have been proposed. Installation of an HVAC system to regulate heating and cooling and control humidity levels within the building. Temperature to be maintained between 22 degrees plus minus 2 Celsius. Installation with 4 reversible ceiling fans with remote control, and upgrade the interior electrical service panel to meet new electrical demands. And this project is projected to be completed with 1 year of project approval. The new project's hydro service needs a new transformer and a new energy line from the exterior post to the building, which will be installed by Grand Bridge Energy. The second project, which was approved from Woodland Cultural Center, the summary is as follows. Woodland Cultural Center requests repair funds to correct an issue with a low spot in the main sewage drain line causing sewage backup into their visitor and staff washrooms in the main building. The building in question is over 50 years old, and the existing plumbing was added years ago to relocate washrooms from the gallery area to the lobby. The plumbing lines run under the main gallery floor. The scope of this project is to repipe a section of the drainage as well as to cut, remove, and excavate any area in the gallery in order to resolve this issue. Preliminary work by a plumbing contractor has shown that the majority of the system is filled with water due to the sloping issue, and locates are performed to track the route in the system. This showed a 40 to 50 feet current pipe and 4 inches plastic lining. This pipe needs to be relocated and resloped to fix this drainage issue, and this also means it has to be completely replaced. And so and because of this, and as I mentioned, it runs under the gallery, they have to remove the flooring, and they were not able to source additional identical flooring, so that will also have to be replaced instead of just adjusted, and so that will be an additional cost. Okay, so that's a very high level overview of the two projects, and that were approved by the Cultural and Built Heritage Funding Subcommittee that met on the 28th. Okay.
So to return to the next question. These are.
So what exactly, is the question related to where the money's coming from, or?
Dana, would you like to repeat your question? Yes.
Thank you, through Madam Chair. The question was whether or not there's any other sources of funding for this, for both projects coming, or is this the amount that's being provided through this particular fund is paying for the entirety of both projects?
No, we only pay for 50%.
Okay, that was what I was getting at. Okay, so do we know who the other funding sources are? Is it from their own accounts, or is somebody else involved as a partner?
That's the way the grant is set up is that they received a partial fund at the beginning, and then they received the rest of the funding at the end. Is broken up into 2 stages, and they have to show completion of the project and the matching receipts that correlate. And so where they get that money isn't my business. It's just as long as they can show that they've spent the matching funds.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. All right, seeing none, let us vote. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Can I please have a mover and seconder to place the minutes on the floor? Minutes from February. Jeanette, thank you. Seconder, Carrie, thank you. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor? Okay. Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. There are no resolutions and there are no notices of motion. So the meeting now is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. And I look forward to working with you again in the coming year. And stay cool. It's very hot out.